really happen.
You know, it's amazing to hear all of you say how careful you are in actually bringing somebody into your team, and because of that care that you guys put to that, the having to let people go really doesn't happen very often, short of somebody having a phenomenal opportunity and you're actually glad for them for the fact, not that, you know, hey, you came in and 3 days later now I get to do this again. I'm thrilled that your skill in making sure the right people you're in business with helps you not have to do that.
Yeah, I do a yearly formal evaluation too for everyone. So I first send it to them, let them do a self-evaluation. So I would like to see what they think of their performance, and then I do one for them, and we put right on there. You know, we print out specific examples of things that may not have been so good, and ask them, you know, what are you going to do to correct that, so that your rating goes from a 2 to a 5 on that. So, and most of them want to do better. So, you know, it usually works out.
I like a track slide. So, there's people that have large teams like yourselves, powerful teams like yourselves, and there's people that are starting to get to that point. I mean, there's guys in this room that single-handedly will do 40 deals, and you know that's got to hurt with files that are 1.5 inches thick. Okay, how would you tell them with what you know now? As an example, is the systems that they put into place, the streamlining of all of those things prior to hiring, is that more important than hiring a good person, or is it more important to hire a good person and then figure out the systems as you go that way? Because as you have a team, your systems expand and change.
Well, I mean, okay, when you're first starting out, I mean, you need to have somebody that is doing clerical. So you definitely need somebody that's not you, because you're going to be out there doing the sales. So I think that's real important. And you may not have the systems right in place, and that's okay, because they can put these systems, they just need to follow you around. I think where the biggest mistake with most realtors are, we're all greedy. You know, we want all the money, you know, and the bottom line is you got to spend money to make money. And sometimes you have to step back, you know, and look at what are we doing. It's just like in the REO world right now. I mean, we just got into this recently, and I would say the first 6 months of doing it, it wasn't profitable. I mean, we were breaking even, you know, but then I realized that, hey, look, I need somebody that is an accounting end of it so I get my money back, you know, and I needed somebody that was literally in there. But now we're in the growth period, and now we have, you know, Freddie, we have Bank of America, we have Wells, you know, we're doing a lot of direct stuff. So it was a matter of, you know, getting certain systems in place, but they're all putting the systems for me. You know, I had somebody else check out that TASA was a group. You know, there was several other options that we had, but I let them tell me. You have to empower the assistant. I think that's like real critical, is the person that you hire. Of course, you don't want them to be like you, but empower them. Because if they feel like they're taking this job and doing it, you know, they're going to bring something to you that you probably would never have realized that could have been done. Everybody thinks we're the best. I mean, you are the best, and you're the only one that can do it. But there are people that are just much better than you, especially when it comes down to the clerical end of it.
Ditto. And the empowerment's really good. I have a friend who got into business not long after I did, and he was going great guns and selling lots of houses, but I'd run into him on the street, and he was so tired, stressed. He hadn't taken a vacation in 3 years and wasn't taking his weekends off or anything else. And I said, why don't you get somebody? Why don't you get a partner or an assistant? Why don't you do that? And he admitted to me. He said he wanted to keep the money for himself, and he was too much of a control freak. He didn't want to let any of the control go. And he finally figured out how to start to integrate an assistant into his plan, and then a partner. And now he's one of the top agents on the east side of town. He's doing great. So it paid off.
What was the question?
You've got a mega team. Okay, there's people that are mega agents doing 40+ transactions, and it starts to hurt. The question is it more important to be totally systematized first, or is the quality of the people, in your opinion, more important than the systems will come?
I think you have to, well, I think it starts with one system first. I mean, when you're doing it, you're doing business a certain way. So if you're going to bring on a second person and you let them kind of figure it out, if that person leaves, you're stuck. So I think the technology is out there. Where my first ever system I did when I was a solo agent was I used to do a Monday morning foreclosure list. So every Monday, every single lead got an email for every foreclosure that was listed the week before in Dade and Broward County. So every Monday that would go out, and I did that, and I found somebody for whatever it cost, 25 cents, to do that every Monday morning, and just go into my email, run the search, print the PDF, upload it, send it to my database. So that was my first system ever. So, and it just kind of grew from there. So I think where we used to fail when we all started was we would, out of the 100 people that call us, how many actually really buy anything like today or the next 3 months? It's less than 10. So I think what the key is to how are we going to capture the other 90 to 95% of those buyers or sellers that we never follow up with ever again. So that weekly foreclosure list alone, I had somebody call me about 2 or 3 years ago. She was getting that list for 7 years. And one day she called me out of the blue. I said, this is Roman. She goes, hey Roman, it's Rebecca, how are you? Oh great, Rebecca, how are you? I'm going to my contact manager, there's 15 Rebeccas. I said, oh great, what can I help you with? She goes, that property you sent me, I've been waiting for the values to drop to 250 so I can buy in that building. And I've been checking out the list for 7 years. She was getting that list every Monday morning. And I looked it up, all she had was a first name and an email address. I didn't know address, phone number, nothing. And she was getting that list for 7 years. And like an even bigger light bulb went off where I said, wow, if you just give them something of value and you don't have, on a consistent basis, you don't have to worry about it, that's where the business will grow. And that's when I really started harnessing the power of systems and stuff to where stuff can happen automatically to keep in touch with the people who are not ready to buy now. And ever since then, almost every listing point I've been on in the last 3 or 4 years, they've always called me back a year or two later. Now through Facebook, they're saying, hey, how are the values? Because they're getting those 3 or 4 touches from me, and it's something better than the recipe for a pumpkin pie or how to keep the lawn mowed through the season. So it's been good. That's I think.